Hey guys, it's Stu. Just thought I'd do you another mini update on my builds, as I promised earlier in the week. Didn't get as far as I'd hoped, actually, to be honest with you. Main reason being is I was taken pretty ill last night. It's my own fault. Basically, it was a case I was trying to do too much in one day, and I also got rather stressed with it. Which actually brought on a very bad bout of angina. I've had bad ones in my time, but to be honest with you, this one was a real cracker. And it got that bad that I was contemplating on getting myself into hospital. Basically, I gave myself a bit of a scare, but thankfully, I had my Nitromin spray at hand, used that, and it basically calmed down the angina attack rapidly. And then I could relax a bit more. In fact, I've scared myself a bit, to be honest with you guys. Excuse me, I just cleared my throat. And put things into perspective. I'm not going to do that again, because I tried to do too much in one day. Lifting heavy equipment and stuff. I was basically decluttering my room as well. Went out and did a heavy shop. Came back with rather heavy shopping load, rather late. Put that all away, and then basically had a quick bite to eat. Did a bit more on this project, and then did a thorough deep clean on my room, which didn't help because that brought on the attack. So yeah, it did scare me a bit, to be honest with you guys. So lesson learned, try not to do too much in one day. I've just got to know my limits. I mean, admittedly, 4 years ago I had a mini heart attack and they did an excellent job on me. Repaired the heart, put stent in, etc. And I've had good reports from the doctors every 6 months. But I'm not the way I was before the operation. I've just got to know my limits and not do as much as I used to. On another note, I want to thank everybody for their concern and best wishes, particularly on my Facebook site. Friends such as Lucy Field, also Gil Mondragon, Ian Poulton from UK Scale Modeler. Also Amber Glossop, my neighbour across the road, who's been an old friend of mine for many years, and a few other people I wish to mention. Oh yeah, of course, Helen McKenny, my friend over the pond, who's been a real sweetie. So bless your heart, Helen. It's nice to know people care, let's just put it like that. And this is one thing I love about the community. When you're in a crisis, they rally around like you wouldn't believe. And it just basically lifts your spirits, and it's helped me put things into perspective and realise what I've got in life. So yeah, thank you all so much. I did feel quite lonely when I was going through this last night, and knowing the way you all care makes me feel a lot more at ease. I don't feel so alone. In fact, I know I'm not alone, and I never will be. So thank you once again from the bottom of my heart. It's just a case, I tried to do too much yesterday and it was going, oi, slow down a bit, you're wearing me out. So it was trying to tell me something to say behave or else. So again, as I say, I've got to know my limits, and just try not to do too much in one day, and don't get stressed, because that does tend to lead to problems. Anyway, moving on from that, another note I want to say before I get on with this update is Adam Mann in my last video kindly pointed out I was a bit in the wrong. I think I slightly put my foot in it. He's given me advice that you should try and not rely on one source at a time when it comes to the true facts of a particular subject and who drove that vehicle. Now I'd inferred that another Tiger Ace had actually driven this and not Thomas Amsel-Gruber. I was wrong. Adam kindly gave me a link to a site which actually deals with people who have first-hand accounts of what happened at those battles and who was involved. So thank you for sending me that link, Adam, and basically correcting me. And I also owe a big apology to Dragon. So my apologies, Dragon. I was a little bit hasty. I need to ensure my facts before making judgment. Right, humble pie time over. Let's get on with what basically is happening with the build. But again, Adam, I apologise. So thank you for correcting me and pointing me out. I was wrong. So there you go. Hopefully that's got me out the doghouse. Right. As I say, I've basically put the base coat on her, bedded down beautifully. Now, admittedly, it's not the same colour I used like the AK range, because unfortunately the colour involved I'd run out of. And because of that very reason, I decided on using Tamiya's dark yellow as the nearest source of Dunkelgelb. And as you can see here, it's bedded over beautifully overall, and I'm extremely happy with the way this build is going. If I turn her around again, you notice that I had the exhaust shrouds on. I haven't actually glued them in place. I've just done a dry fit on them and placed them on with a tiny bit of blue tack. And if you notice, if I pan in, I've weathered and beaten them up a bit, because if you notice on Tiger 131, the actual exhaust shrouds are badly beaten up and severely dented. Some of this is caused by the heat from the exhausts, because obviously the actual shroud is of a light alloy. And they used to get beaten up with battle damage. And as you can see, I've drilled in tiny little shell holes just to add that little bit of realism. Now, if I pan back, I'll just pan across to here. Whoops, hang on, nearly lost it then. And in this box is a little drill. I'll just take it out. It's very similar to a Dremel drill, but I bought it at half the price. And I'm just going to apply the one I used on the actual method. Just going to screw it in. If you'll bear with me a second, this does take a little bit of fiddly working, and I'm just going to place that in. There we go, got it in nice and tight. Oops, hang on, he says, famous last words. Right, I secured it. Is this little drill. It's a little beauty. It's the first time I've actually used it, and I purchased this just over a year ago off eBay. It's called the Mini Grinder GW3005. It's got a 3.6 volt DC and runs at 1000 revs per minute. And it's one handy little tool to have, and that's basically what I used on those exhaust shrouds. I just basically touched it up against the side to put the indentations on the exhaust shrouds, and then obviously drilled in the little hole to replicate the shell holes. Superb little runner. It does run off of the mains, or you can use a battery, I think. I may be wrong. I'll just basically run it through. It's not noisy, it's very quiet, as you can see there, but a handy little tool to have all the same. And it comes with a superb kit as well as its toolbox, which is absolutely packed with drill bits, sanders and buffers, the lot. So it's a superb little tool. I heartily recommend you go and get one. I actually got this off eBay for about the pricely sum of $18.99, including postage. Dremel, I grant you, are very good tools, and they have got a good name, but if you're not looking to pay out the prices they charge on those, this is the next best thing. So if you can't afford a Dremel, go for this as the alternative. And as I say, you can, I think, source them on eBay. I don't know if they're still on there, but I certainly did, and it comes with its own toolkit. So there you go. And that is how we got, that's how far we've got on the Tiger. Also, before I finish with the Tiger, I've also got some of the running gear done, but I've actually used this masking set, which is actually provided by a company called Quick Wheel. I sourced this again off eBay for the pricely sum of £4.99. It's quite simple, and it was mentioned by a YouTube model who I've forgotten the name of some 2 years ago. All you do is put your wheels in there, line them up obviously, spray it on, and the result you get is this. As you can see there, if I can get that into shot, if it's going to focus, absolutely perfect symmetry, not an ounce of overspray on there. And I've done the same on the back, little bit of overspray but hardly anything you'd notice, and it just needs a minor touch up. And that is one handy little tool to have, and it's going to be a time saver, I can tell you. So I heartily recommend you go out and get one of these. As I say, they're only about £4.99, and have a look on eBay for them. They do them for all armoured and armoured vehicles, not just tanks, but armoured vehicles as well. So this one is for an early Tiger, but I say the wheel hubs are very similar with the mid, so that's basically what I used. And it is an essential time saver, I can tell you. Or if you can't afford, if you don't want to buy that, just use a normal circular template, like something like this. Okay, and you can pick these up at any sort of stationers. Okay, and that is basically how far we've got on the Tiger. Let's get it back into shot. So that's the Tiger done. So I'll just move her over on the other side of the workbench for a minute. And then we go on to my second project, which is obviously, as we all know, the AS90 155mm self-propelled howitzer gun. And here she is. I've got a base coat on, as you can see. Again, it was another Tamiya paint, XF58 olive green. Now I did use my resources on this, and references off of eBay, well, off of the internet as well as in books, to make sure I got a fairly good colour match, and this is as near as damn it. Now admittedly I haven't got the camo on, but I didn't get to do that for obvious reasons. But I have to say I'm pretty happy with the way it's going. It's really come on well. I did have a slight accident with this little wing mirror, knocked it off, but I managed to glue it back in place. It just needs a minor touch up. The only thing I didn't get done on it is the wheel hubs, unfortunately. The reason being is because unfortunately I've run out of paint. I have ordered some more in, so these are still in their black XF1 matte black, and that's the way they'll stay until we get the paint in. Now unfortunately the AS90 is going to be on a temporary hold until I can get the paint in, so my main focus is going to be on the Tiger. So there you go, that's how we are, and that's where we're at the moment. Anyway, the next video you shall see will be my monthly update. I may, if I get time tomorrow, film it and post it. If I don't, it'll probably be done by nearly the end of next week, because I'm actually going to be away from Monday for a few days, spending some time with a good friend of mine, and we're hoping to go up to London for the day. So there you go. Life again gets in the way of the hobby, but in a pleasant way. So there you go, that's where we're at, and that's how the projects are resuming. But to be honest with you, all told, I'm pretty happy with it in the direction they're going. and I hope you are too. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. So until the next time, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I'll speak to you soon.